Hello, guys. How are you all? Good to see you. Lunchtime listening on YouTube today. I'm trying something new. I wanted to do a lunchtime listening on YouTube because it's a way I can use slides. I can also use videos. It's much easier on YouTube than it is on Instagram. So I'm going to try and see what it's like to have lunchtime listening on YouTube. So if you are watching on Instagram, you guys need to go to my YouTube link in my stories. Okay, it's a test. I'm trying it out. Let's see if it's going to work having the class on YouTube. So today we are going to be talking about a very famous British woman. This woman has become famous for not just being a chef, but also for being a very British personality. So we're going to be looking at the very famous Mary Berry. So have you guys ever heard of Mary Berry? Have you ever had a recipe that you've made by Mary Berry? She is very, very famous in the UK. She has written more than 80 books. So there's a lot of content about Mary Berry. I have a Mary Berry book. Most people in England have a Mary Berry book in their kitchen. So we're going to study about Mary Berry's life today. This class is 100% in English. It's your opportunity to practice your English skills with me. So as we're doing our live here on YouTube today, I'm going to show you some pictures. Let's see if it's easier to see and be able to participate through the live in this way. So here we go. Let's put it like that. So here we have Mary Berry. She is a fantastic celebrity. She has a lot of personality. She likes to joke in the kitchen. I have always tried to follow her recipes, and we're going to see why she became so famous in the UK. For us to start, let's have a look at Mary Berry when she was a child. So here we have Mary Berry when she was a child. She was born Mary Rosa Aliane Berry, and she was born on the 24th of March in 1935. Yes, Mary Berry is 90 years old. She recently turned 90 years old. So she is 90. She was born in 1935. Here we have the young Mary Berry. She was born in the city of Bath in England. Have you guys ever visited Bath? Bath is a really beautiful city to visit. I really recommend going to Bath if you ever visit England. It's a beautiful city with Roman buildings and Roman baths. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. She was born in Bath, and her father was actually the mayor of Bath during her childhood. What's a mayor? A mayor is a prefeito. So he was the mayor of Bath. Her father, Mary Berry's father, she had one brother. His name was Roger, and she grew up in Bath. One of the things that affected Mary Berry when she was a child was that she had polio when she was a child, and an illness that nowadays people have a vaccine for this illness, but she had polio when she was younger, and she had basically twisted her spine in her back, which meant that she had weakness in her arm, her left arm, etc. This would be for the rest of her life. She survived having polio. She was in hospital, but this obviously affected her health. So she had that when she was 13 years old. She describes herself as very interested in being academic, but the one subject she really enjoyed at school was called domestic science. Domestic science. What's domestic science? Basically, I don't believe that in Brazil they teach this, but domestic science at school, I had it when I was at school too, is basically classes to cook, classes to sew, classes to make things, basically basic skills for you to survive at home. So I learned, for example, how to cook basic things, how to cook a roast dinner, how to make a cake, how to make some bread. We did that in our domestic science classes, and Mary Berry also had domestic science classes at school. And she said that was the subject that really interested her, which is funny because she would eventually go on to be a chef, a very, very famous TV chef. So when she was at school, she loved this domestic science, and her first recipe, one of her first recipes she made for her parents that she learned at school, let me see if I can show you, is this recipe here on the back of one of her books. And this is called treacle sponge or syrup sponge. It's a really delicious recipe, and it was one of the first things that she made for her parents and showed them that she was able to cook well. This is interesting that she has this on the back of one of her books. She started studying catering at Bath College. Then she would go on to work in a showroom which would sell, ovens and things like that. So when she was in this shop showing these ovens to people realized that she wasn't just good at cooking and understanding about cooking. She was also very good at demonstrating. And if you are a chef on TV, you know that you need to demonstrate. You know that you need to be able to show things and explain things. Doesn't matter if you, if you know how to make a recipe, you still need to be able to show people how to make the recipe. You need to be like a teacher, showing them how to make the recipe. So that's what she did when she started cooking. When she was in this area of work, she met her husband. Let me make it bigger so you can see them. So here we have Mary Berry with her husband. They got married in 1960. They are still married today. You can see them on the right. Aren't they sweet? And they have been married for a very long time. They got married in 1960, which is a long time being married. Yeah, guys. So she's married to her husband until now. I put down his name. Let me see where I wrote his name. Roger, and Paul, his name was Paul. So he was basically got married to Mary Berry when they were in the 1960s, and they are still married today. And if you watch the video that they made for her 90th birthday, he says, "Happy birthday, my love." And it's so sweet to see these two people who have been married since 1966 still married today. And so it's a beautiful relationship. So they got married. Mary Berry would go to Le Cordon Bleu. Have you ever heard of this school? It's a school in Paris for people who want to learn to cook, Le Cordon Bleu. And she studied there, but she said she didn't really enjoy it because she didn't speak French very well. But she said it helped her with her culinary skills. She would then return home, and she'd also study in a school in Bath. And eventually she would become noted for her capacity to simplify recipes. And a magazine would contract her to be an editor for a food part of the magazine. And that's when they realized that she was very good at explaining, very good at demonstrating how to cook. If you've ever made a Mary Berry recipe, you will know that she's very good at simplifying the recipe. She doesn't just explain, but she simplifies it. And I think that makes it easier for everybody to try. So she became noted for that capacity to explain, for that capacity to simplify a recipe, and soon she would release her first cookbook. Remember, I said at the beginning of our live that she released 80 cookbooks. That's a lot of cookbooks, guys. Let's have a look at one of her first cookbooks. Here we have, let me make it bigger for you guys to see. This is one of her first cookbooks that she released. Here she is with her children. She would go on to have 3 children, and many of her cookbooks feature her young children. If we look here when she was on TV, here she is with with her 3 children. Unfortunately, one of her 3 children would die in an accident when he was 19 years old. His name was William, and he was at university and he suffered a car accident, and unfortunately he died. So Mary Berry speaks very openly about the grief that she went through when she lost her child, one of her children. And she works a lot for charities that are focused on helping parents who lose a child. So here we have Mary Berry with her 3 children. One of her children, William, unfortunately died when he was 19 years old. But you can see a lot of the time in her programs and her recipe books, pictures of her children, and it's sweet to see them all being involved in cooking too. And eventually one of her daughter would go on to help her expand the name of Mary Berry. So she would publish some of her first books. She got then noticed by the BBC and ITV, and she would start having a TV program. So here we have her making a very famous dish, which is the roast turkey at Christmas time. We have a young Mary Berry here. And she would work both for the BBC and ITV, which are big channels, would be like Globo and Record or Globo SBT here in Brazil. And she became very, very quickly famous for the way that she taught people to cook. As I said, she was very good at simplifying things. She would then go on later on in her career to participate in a program called the Great British Bake Off. Why was she invited to present this program? Because Mary Berry became known as the Queen of Cakes. Look at how many cakes on this table. She became known as the Queen of Cakes because one of her specialities are cakes. And we're going to see in our live today some of the cakes that you guys can maybe try and make, that you can find online that she makes. They are fantastic, her cakes. Almost every time you make a Mary Berry recipe, you are able to achieve the final result because she's very good at explaining what you should do to not make it wrong. So here we have Mary Berry in the program called the Great British Bake Off, which is a little bit similar to MasterChef, but it's focused on baking. It's focused on normal people baking, and they have the challenges like they do in MasterChef. As you can see here, she has her own cookery programs. She's had many different cookery programs through her career, and you can watch many of her programs on YouTube. I want you guys to be able to see a recipe. I'm going to try and include it here in our presentation to see if it's going to work, as this is our first time making or live on YouTube for our lunchtime listening. Let's see if it's going to work. Here we go.
Cake that I've made most in my life because everybody likes it. Everybody loves it. Pretty easy. Just follow the recipe carefully. It's a good idea to be organized. That'll give you confidence, ready to get going. Let me show you. First of all, start off with the eggs. So 4 eggs, these are really fresh and the white holds together. 225 grams of caster sugar and the same of self-raising flour. Easy to remember.
So here you can see Mary Berry demonstrating one of the very famous cakes that we are going to see in our live today, which is this cake here, which is called the Victoria sponge cake. So these are three of probably the most famous cakes in the UK. You guys know that she's a very famous chef. She became very famous as the Queen of Cakes. These are three cakes that you can easily find that Mary Berry makes. The first cake is a little more challenging, as it is a lot of ingredients in a Christmas cake. But if you like raisins and dried fruit, go ahead and try the Christmas cake. Then we have the lemon drizzle cake. This is my favorite. I love the citrus taste of lemon drizzle. It's delicious. If you've never tried a lemon drizzle cake, it's with the Sicilian lemon, the yellow lemon. It's very delicious, very easy to make. You can find it online, putting Mary Berry lemon drizzle cake. It's delicious. And the cake that she was making in the video that I just showed you is the Victoria sponge cake, Queen Victoria's favorite cake. And the Queen Victoria's favorite cake is called the Victoria sponge cake because it's made with 2 pieces of sponge, and in the middle we have jam and cream. Again, a very easy cake to make. I made the Victoria sponge cake live here live on Instagram during the pandemic, and my sister made it with me. She was making it in England. I was explaining it here in Brazil. It's a great recipe. I will try and find it in the archives and put it in my stories on Instagram. But the Victoria sponge cake is a very easy cake to make. If you haven't made it, do try. It's delicious. I don't always put cream in the Victoria sponge cake. You can make it with just with jam. It is delicious. The best type of jam is strawberry jam, and try and find a good quality one to make it taste amazing. So these are our 3 of her very famous cakes. Then we have the savory side. Mary Berry isn't just about cakes. She makes a lot of easy savory dishes. 2 of the most famous dishes here that you will easily find in England is the quiche Lorraine, which is a quiche with cheese, eggs, and bacon. It's delicious. And then we have the beef Wellington, which is a piece of beef cooked with mushrooms and pastry. It's a little bit more challenging, but it's also very delicious to make. You need to have a bit more time to make a beef Wellington. Then we have, I've included probably the most famous recipe that you will find online for Mary Berry, which is scones. Scones. I am frequently asked online how to make scones. Scones are like little broinhas you put jam and cream on. You can see that the British love a bit of jam and cream. And here we have scones. I've put 2 pictures because there are 2 ways of eating it. You put the jam first and the cream, or the cream first and then the jam. I personally like to put the jam first and then the cream on top. And this cream, guys, is fresh cream. It's not cream that is long life, like you have a lot in Brazil. It is the more expensive cream here, which is the fresh cream. In England, it's very easy to find lots of different types of cream. And scones are something that's delicious to have in the afternoon with your cup of coffee or your tea, etc. So I really encourage you to try scones. I have also made scones live on my social media platforms. I will try and find the recipe and put it in the stories as well. It is a recipe that I made quite a while ago. I think about more than a year and a half ago, but it's a great recipe. It's very easy to make scones. The secret to scones, as Mary Berry would say, is don't mix it too much because you lose the air. It's not supposed to be like bread. So that's my tip for you. If you want to learn how to make scones, do find the Mary Berry recipe. She also has scones recipes on YouTube. As I showed you the Victoria sandwich cake recipe, the Victoria sponge cake recipe. Mary Berry doesn't have a YouTube channel, I don't believe, but the BBC have a lot of videos with her there. If you put into YouTube Victoria's sponge cake, or you put lemon drizzle cake or scones, and you put the name Mary Berry, it will appear because she is everywhere on YouTube too. So Mary Berry has recently, on the 24th of March, she turned 90 years old. Here she is in her beautiful home in England. She has a beautiful home, and frequently in her videos you can see her house, her garden. She loves gardening. She is very, very famous for presenting flower shows as well in the UK. Before we finish, I want to just mention that she was also given the title of Dame. Dame. What is the title of Dame? When somebody is recognized by the royal family for their contribution to charity work, contribution to their area of work, which would be the culinary area for her, they are given a title called a knighthood. So she is given a damehood. Her name is Dame Mary Berry. Dame is the title for a woman, and Sir is the title for men. This is why we say Sir Paul McCartney, Sir Elton John, and we have Dame. We had, before she passed away, Dame Maggie Smith. We have Dame Judi Dench, and we have Dame Mary Berry. So people who are recognized for their contribution to charity work and their work in a specific area are able to be recognized by the royal family through this title. And here she is receiving this title from King Charles III. So she is technically called Dame Mary Berry. And it is remarkable that she is 90 years old today. So as I said, if you want to read about Mary Berry, if you want to learn about her, there is a lot of info on YouTube because of her birthday. And now to finish the class, I just want to remind you guys, lots of people asking, this class will also be on my platform for those who are signed up to the course Listen and Learn. I also have an offer currently at the moment, which is called 2 courses for the price of 1. You can sign up to Dynamic and you gain my listening and pronunciation course, Make It British. This promotion is finishing. So if you are interested in studying with me and gaining a course, when you buy another course, like buy one, get one free, we say in English, this is your moment to do it. If you would like more information, you can click in the link in the description of this video. So it's been absolutely amazing to see you guys move from Instagram to YouTube. This is a test to see how well it will work, how you guys adapt. I think YouTube is a platform that is easier for somebody to watch, it's easier for somebody to study, and it's easier for you guys to find any classes on YouTube after, whilst Instagram sometimes can be a little bit more confusing. However, this is a test. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing the classes on YouTube. This is the first week I'm trying, so it's a little test this week. Next week, we will have another lunchtime listening class. Next week is a really interesting, a different topic, something I've never spoken about in any of my videos. So it will be interesting to see how many of you guys are interested in it. And we also have a very famous author coming up in April, before I take a short break on my lunchtime listenings because I'm getting married on the 2nd of May. So I hope I've inspired you to do a Mary Berry recipe. I look like I'm selling the book to you guys, but really her recipes are amazing. Every recipe I have ever made by Mary Berry has gone right. And you guys know I'm not a very good cook. My husband is the person who cooks at home. But Mary Berry's recipes are incredible. They are simple. She is very, very easy to watch. I really think she's funny as well. She dresses eccentrically. She has a beautiful home. She's very British. If you want to practice your English, very easy to understand as well. So look up Mary Berry on YouTube. Enjoy yourselves for this idea of practicing your English whilst cooking. And I will see you all next week for one more lunchtime listening. Have a great day, guys. See you all very soon. Bye-bye now.